Welcome to another Monday Musings with me, Ramsey Bergeron. And thanks for being here. I'm going to stall for a little bit, let some other people jump in the room and when they get the chance, or if you're watching this on the replay, hi. So, what questions do you have? We are 1 week into our 30-day Mindful May challenge. And the homework for last week was 5 minutes a day of meditation. Today, we're bumping that up to 10 minutes. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to type any questions you have into the chat. Let me know where you're signing in from also. And let me know how it's been going for you. Let me know how the experience has been. Have you been able to stick with the plan? And as those maybe roll in here, I want to also give a little bit of advice when it comes to working on the daily meditations. And this is something you can actually apply to any element of your life. And it's the concept of self-compassion. So whenever I'm working with people, especially the type A executives who always want to improve themselves and be better, I always say instead of self-improvement, focus on self-compassion. Why is that? Well, especially with meditation, it's really important because if we focus on the self-improvement, we tend to hold ourselves to a standard of perfection that's unattainable. And then whenever we don't do something perfectly, we end up shaming ourselves for it. So when I say focus on self-compassion, there are days when I might not meditate and all I can do is start over the next day. Think about it where if you're doing a nutrition plan and you have a bad meal, you have a cheat meal, I would say that that doesn't let you just fall off the wagon. Sometimes it does, and that's okay. But try to have that self-compassion that we're human and you're going to hop back to it. So, who's been able to stick with the first week so far of being able to meditate every day? And I see people, hi, hello from Vegas, hello from Connecticut. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. And I also want to talk about how meditation's really helped me experience freedom. Um, especially I'll talk about this week in particular because it's really resonated as I'm doing this challenge along with you. It's reminded me what an important aspect this is in helping me view my life and how I process stress. So I went up to Lake Watson Wednesday to go kayaking with Gizmo, who's my dog who I have. Baxter, his brother, who was my special little guy, he crossed the Rainbow Bridge about a month and a half ago. And back when my best friend passed away in 2020, Baxter and I would go up to this lake all the time and go kayaking. It was our peaceful little spot, just he and I up there. He's a great conversationalist, doesn't talk a lot, loves to listen. And so whenever I went up there with Gizmo, it was really windy on Wednesday. Like I went up there with a friend of mine, she brought her paddleboard, and the people were coming off the lake saying it's bad. Like we can't go out there. And at first I felt sad because I knew how I wanted the experience to be. I wanted to go out there in the lake. I wanted the conditions to be how I wanted them to be. Well, the conditions were what they were. And that's something that meditation really helps me with is acceptance. Because a lot of times I'll get this story stuck in my head of how I think things should be going, which causes me stress. And whenever I meditate on a regular basis, it allows me to have that space between when I stimulus happens and then how I react to it. So I show up, these people are telling me that it's really windy up there, it's crazy. And at first my mind starts going down that rabbit hole of, okay, well, I drove all the way up here. It's an hour and a half drive. I can't even get out here. I want to experience this with Gizmo. And meditation allows me to stop that thought train and just take a beat. And that's really important to understand that the benefits of meditation happen not when you're meditating, it helps you just in your everyday regular life. So for those of you that have been able to meditate, share in the chat like what have you noticed this week that might be different for you? I know for me that it's huge in those situations. I was also swimming Saturday. I'm doing a long swim race coming up next month. I'm swimming 12 miles in the ocean. And yes, that's insane, but it's something that I want to do. So that's my journey. So I was swimming for 3.5 hours in the pool on Saturday, and that's a long time. Um, and my mind started being like, think about all the other things you could be doing. Why don't you get out of the water now? There's too much chlorine in here. And then I stopped like, wait a minute. I'm here in this moment. Why can't I just enjoy it in this moment and being here? And I did. I'm like, all right, well, I'm here now. And I find that a lot of times in life, I end up thinking about all the other things I'd rather be doing than what I'm doing in that moment. And that's what mindfulness really is just being fully present in this moment, no matter what it is you're doing. Thich Nhat Hanh, a very prominent Buddhist monk, he passed away last year. But I love his talks about mindfulness. He talks about how if you're washing a dish, that can be just as spiritual of an experience as meditating or praying or spending time with your family or your children. Are you dedicating the moment that you're in fully to that moment? And that's really where the benefits of meditation start to really transform your life and show you freedom. Because true freedom is just accepting reality and looking at what you can control in that moment. So, how has that been going for you? I see Paul. Thank you, Paul, signing in from Scottsdale. So, something as you're experiencing this meditation and you're going through the process, be kind to yourself and start to have the awareness when you're going through your day to day life of when you would find yourself maybe I don't want to say freaking out, but getting yourself worked up and how meditation brings you back to what you can control. I do have a question that somebody sent me in. They couldn't be here right now, but they asked me about something I mentioned in my last live, which was, well, what do you mean, Ramsey, when you say we aren't aware of our thoughts? My mind is always talking. So this is one thing I'm always aware of. So please explain that to me. So when your mind is talking, meditation allows you to realize that that talking isn't you necessarily because you can see the talking and you can recognize that, okay, well, I don't necessarily want to go down that thought train. Your mind is always running. And when you meditate, you have the opportunity to realize that you can create separation between you and the thought. Because sometimes your thoughts are lying to you. Your can be that little devil on your shoulder telling you, like, oh, they don't like you. That's why they haven't texted you back. Well, that's not based in any kind of reality. That's I call that a gremlin from the life coaching school that I went to. It's just it could be a limiting belief you have. And so when you create that space between what you're thinking and who you are, it allows you to look at the situation more objectively, which really does allow you to have more freedom. Um, Meditation is, and mindfulness in general, is just a way to experience life in this moment. Because otherwise, we're always thinking about the next one. What am I going to do after I sign off of this Facebook Live? What am I going to do after I retire? What am I going to do at the end of this week? What am I going to do this weekend? Like I'm flying out to do some swim training on Wednesday, flying to Hawaii. And how many times have you, whenever you're about to go on vacation or go somewhere exciting, you can't ever really enjoy the moments you're in at work or at home before that because all you can think about is this moment in the future. And then when you get to that vacation, you spend the first day or two like, wow, I can't believe I'm really here. So you're not even really present. And then you got maybe a couple of days where you're really in that moment on vacation. And then the last couple of days when you're there, you're dreading going home. So you can't even enjoy that moment. It's I don't want to go back to work on Monday. Oh, it's going to be miserable. I wish I could stay here longer. And all you're doing is depriving yourself of the joy that you could be experiencing now. And I used to spend my whole life doing it. And to some extent, I still kind of do that. Like I was packing for my trip this morning. And I'm so caught up in that my dog Gizmo was bringing me his toy. And then I caught myself like, no, just play with him for a little bit. Like he wants to play. He's here in this moment. And so meditation helps you bring that back to who you are in the now and be here in that moment. So the other thing that this really helps out with is stress and stress management. So I'm really excited. I want to share with you guys. I'm going to be launching a masterclass. It's a one-time masterclass I'm doing June 6th called Rapid Reset. And for those of you that might have heard any of my presentations that I've done on the Energy Leadership Index or the ELI, that's what this is going to cover. So it's going to be a 2-hour masterclass. Usually companies pay thousands of dollars to bring me in and do this presentation. This is the first time I'm going to be able to offer it to individuals that don't have to go see me live somewhere. So if you want to learn about how your energy and how stress is keeping you from feeling free in your life, this is your workshop. It's going to start 6 p.m. Pacific time. And the first 25 people that sign up are going to be entered to win a month worth of coaching from me. And that's a $1,200 value. And someone's going to win that for free based on the first 25 people that sign up for the masterclass. Now, there's two versions of this. You can attend the class or you can actually do the ELI. So on my website listed here, you can pick either one of those. And so a lot of these concepts that I'm talking about when it comes to mindfulness, it's really the foundation for any big change in your life. Because you have to slow down and be aware of, how am I thinking? What do I really want to experience freedom in this moment? So thanks again. Again, every Monday, I'm just going to sign on here and talk just a little bit about whatever the concepts are that for the 30-day challenge that week and what I'm experiencing in my life that really kind of brings this home. So whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay of it, let me know what your thoughts are. What have you taken away from this talk today? What would you like to hear me talk about on a future talk? What is preventing you from being mindful and being present in this moment? How do you feel meditation can help you improve the quality of your life? Appreciate you being here today. Thank you for listening. And so don't forget, today we're upping it to 10 minutes a day meditating for the next week. And then next week's going to be 15 minutes a day. So find that time, make time to meditate. And I appreciate you. And if I can find out how to sign off here, I will. But don't forget, I'll be posting information in this group and in LinkedIn on all my social media about that Rapid Reset course, which is going to be the masterclass June 6th at 6 p.m. Pacific. And looking forward to seeing you. And let me know if you have any questions.